Despite humankind's triumphant leap to the lunar surface in 1969, a persistent faction of skeptics continues to claim it was all a hoax. These theories often stem from misunderstanding physics, distrust in government, or misinterpretation of photographic evidence. What's fascinating is how these myths echo a broader societal tension between expertise and skepticism. Let's dig into the most notorious claims and dismantle them with critical thinking and real science. The flag is waving, so there must be wind. One of the most iconic images of the Apollo 11 mission is the U.S. flag apparently rippling on the moon's surface. Skeptics claim this means there must have been wind, impossible without an atmosphere, so it must have been filmed on Earth. But NASA anticipated this issue. The flag had a horizontal support rod across the top to hold it out like a banner. The waves were from the astronauts twisting it into the ground. Without wind resistance, those creases took longer to settle. In fact, its rigid, wrinkled state is exactly what you'd expect in a low-gravity vacuum, not Earth air. The moon landing was directed by Stanley Kubrick. This myth dives straight into cinematic absurdity. The theory goes that Stanley Kubrick, fresh off 2001: A Space Odyssey, was recruited to fake the moon landing because of his photorealistic space effects. It hinges on supposed symbolism in The Shining, like Danny's Apollo 11 sweater, interpreted as a confession. But not only is this deeply speculative, it ignores the mountain of telemetry data, engineering blueprints, live broadcasts, and international tracking that all corroborated the landings. Also, Kubrick was famously meticulous. Why would he forget to hide stage lights, camera anomalies, or reuse similar footage? There are no stars in the moon photos. This one's a classic misunderstanding of camera exposure. Lunar surface photos were taken in bright daylight conditions, with the sun shining full force, so astronauts had to use fast shutter speeds and small apertures to capture the reflective surfaces. Stars simply didn't register with such settings. You can prove this yourself. Try taking a photo of a night sky with a short exposure. You won't catch any stars, but you haven't disproven their existence. A few bright objects may show up in your photos, but the majority of them won't be visible. The moon doesn't magically erase stars, it's just the limitations of the equipment. Shadows fall in different directions, so there must be multiple light sources. Skeptics point to uneven shadows in lunar images as evidence of studio lighting. But they forget that lunar terrain isn't a flat Hollywood soundstage. It's riddled with craters, slopes, and varying elevations. Shadows bend, stretch, or diverge depending on the surface features. There's only one light source on the moon, the sun. The apparent contradictions in shadow angles are easily explained by perspective and topography. Photographers encounter this phenomenon daily on Earth. We lost the original tapes, so the whole thing must be a lie. This myth thrives on the idea that NASA deliberately erased evidence. In reality, the original SSTV tapes from Apollo 11 were overwritten during routine magnetic tape recycling, due to limited media and poor archival foresight. However, multiple copies were broadcast live, filmed off monitors, and preserved in numerous archives worldwide. More importantly, the data from experiments, transcripts, and physical moon rocks remain publicly available. Losing some tapes doesn't erase the vast footprint, literally and figuratively, Apollo missions left behind. Moon landing denial isn't just about doubting space travel. It reflects deeper fears of misinformation, manipulation, and mistrust in institutions. But skepticism without evidence isn't critical thinking, it's cynicism. The Apollo missions were a testament to collaboration, ingenuity, and raw audacity. Instead of chasing shadows, we should honor that spirit by seeking truth, embracing nuance, and lifting our gaze towards the stars. Hopefully this helps shred some of the cheesy myths surrounding the moon landing. It's healthy to question, but it's also important to accept when evidence supporting our skepticism doesn't manifest. Going to the moon might seem far-fetched, but the initial steps are essentially the same as going into space in general, and few question the authenticity of that fact. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.